Good morning and God bless you. You're welcome to our broadcast for the week. I'll begin to talk about a national honor from this morning. I'm reading from Proverbs chapter number 31, verse number 8 to 9 in NIV. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the right of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the right of the poor and the needy. We are at a time in our nation where every patriotic and righteous man cannot keep quiet. We've prayed to God, and now God has answered our prayer. The protest going on in our nation and all around the corner of the world is a righteous cause that everybody needed to speak. On the first day of October, in the independent national program we had, the Lord spoke to us that this is the season for God to deliver Nigeria from the oppression of evil and wicked leadership. Even the best or the worst or anybody anywhere in the world who has studied what is happening in our nation, we clearly know that there is an evil and wicked reign at work. Like the reign of Pharaoh, the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, or the Herod of the Bible, the oppression on the normal people are enormous. And it is high time at the church level, at the public level, at every level, we condemn what God will not permit in his kingdom on earth. One of the scriptures says, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. And one of the other scriptures said, the nations of the world are his. He is the governor among nations. And having prayed and trust God for a change in this nation, God is already answering us, like he promised on that 1st of October meeting, that it is time for righteousness to reign. And if righteousness must reign, this is the season that God has been waiting for a kind of voice that will silence evil leadership and every evil execution of any system of political evil calculation and conspiracy. This scripture is so important, and this is going to every believer, every youth, every adult. Even if you are not a youth, you have children. If you don't have yet, you will. And if you want the country they will live to be better than yours, it is time for us to speak up, either to the government or to heaven. You can't keep quiet. Hear that scripture again. Number one, it is time to speak up for Nigeria. Nigeria cannot talk by himself. It's our father's land. We don't have another country elsewhere. Even if you're a dual citizen in any part of the world, home is still home. You will see that one day in any house, even if you move your nuclear family, your immediate family, your extended family, they are still here. That scripture says, speak up for the voiceless. There are people who cannot talk, who have gone through all kinds of oppression and depression, and you need to see some of the cases in court that has not been attended to, innocent people that are in prison. So when people begin to protest the end of SARS, they are saying it's a protest against oppression, it's a protest against evil leadership, it's a protest against evil calculation of mere men who have turned the country to their toy. They play us the way they like. I was most embarrassed when I heard that the name was changed from SARS to SWAT. The question is, are we asking for the name of change? Is that what they are asking for? Are we saying change their name or change uniform? We are saying it's time to change every evil leadership system that is not giving us progress. You cannot travel for a certain kilometer in Nigeria without having a lot of deadly and dangerous potholes. We see our people, our mere civil servants, including the police, they are being paid so poorly. Why our big men, as it were, the politicians, are using paper bag to carry their money home. It is sad, and it is time to speak for Nigeria. It is time to speak for the voiceless. It is time to speak for our right. Every government personality is working for the normal human being in the street. They are employed by the people. They got got into the position, even if you read it, it was said that you were voted for. So it is the voice of the common man that bring the government into state. So they are answerable. The constitution of Nigeria is for Nigerian. If ordinary things that were normal and sensible in great nations where all these guys travel to every now and then for medical care, for holiday, for everything. Some of them even go abroad to do the wedding of their children or to do reception, and yet the sense couldn't make them come back to Nigeria to say, let's do what we saw in Dubai. Let's do what we saw in the United States. Let's have one airport that can compete with the airport in Ghana. Let's have one single airport that can compete with any of the airports in the Western world. No, they go there, they enjoy the place, and when they got here, they close their eyes and enter into a big car and go to their beautiful home. While we are complaining about NEPA or no light, they have 24 hours light where they stay at the expense of the voiceless. It is time to speak for our right. It is time to judge fairly. This is the season to judge fairly, to ask if it is fair for people who are elected into the government. When someone analyzes what is the budget for health, what is the budget for education, and the budget for the 450 something people who are both in Senate and House, it's about how many times bigger. So the question is, who are we deceiving? It is time to become a nation with honor. And that honor has to begin with our leaders. You don't have to wait until there's a knock of war. It is right time to do the high thing. The right thing must be done. The governors should rise up. They are not accepted. We are not talking of party. Party has become irrelevant in Nigeria. Either A or B, they are the same. We are tired of seeing things that we have seen in the past 17 or 18 years. It's just a recycling, and it's getting worse every day. God is saying here, it is time to speak up and judge fairly. It is time to defend the right of the poor. That's what that scripture is saying. It's time to defend the right of the poor. It's time to speak up for the needy. There are a lot of needy in our nation. To now talk of people that are being dead on a daily basis in the hands of SARS. It is time for police to become an enviable job in Nigeria. I'd like you to hear what the TPT version says in that same scripture. But you are to be a king who speak up on behalf of the fresh eyes, people whose votes were not counted. The leaders are supposed to be in honor to speak up for those who are defenseless eyes. And then he says, and plead for the legal right of the defenseless and those who are dying. A lot of people are dying, apart from the people that the bullets of the SARS are killing. There are people that are dying because of hunger, people that are dying because of heartbreak, because of the economy of our nation. Our nation is too big to be in a mess. And the voice of the voiceless is the protest that is going on. I want to encourage every one of you in your prayer, and when you finish praying, go out and speak end to corruption, end to SARS, end to bad governance, end to evil men and wicked men in our streets and in our nation. And I believe strongly that this is the time we've been waiting for. It was in 1960 we gained independence from the international men who came to colonize us. Now we are colonized by our own people. 60 years after, time for independence. This is the season we've been waiting for. Can you be counted upon? God bless you as you become a man of honor with a honorable voice to speak up.